meeting come to order. Stand and salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'd like to acknowledge the declaration of a quorum. And we're going to open it up to public comment with Terry Lynn Ross. You requested to be on, yeah.
I did. A lot of you saw the card on the way in and signed it. I'm gonna have it here, the remainder of the meeting. And I'm also going to ask if I can have it up at the township office until, it's needed for her birthday. She'll be getting 100 years old on the 1st of January. And this, if you didn't know, if I didn't say, this is Tim's mom's birthday.
Thank you so much for that. She was born January 1st, 1926. And Hanover and here in Heidelberg are all like family. Goes back multiple generations. And she's in great health. She just recently got a hearing aid. So she's got her mind is good and her health is good. She's up at Homewood. Terry Lynn, thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome,
That was
Terry.
very nice, and I'll make sure she does. Okay, thank you. Let's then open it up to public comment, general comment. Anyone? Saw that hand first.
Well, if there's somebody else who wants to go, that's fine.
Okay.
Renee Castillo, Court. Just a few comments. First of all, I see the response that was produced from him and Matt to the comments put in by Paul online, and this makes it very clear that you guys wrote the budget, and that's great. That you did. The budget contains a very funny reference over and over to this culture and recreation park. Has that always been there? Where did that come from? I don't remember seeing that anywhere outside of socialist countries. Obviously Germany, East Germany is known very well for their culture park. It was a single war back then, and obviously the Soviet Union had many. In every revolutionary country I've been in Latin America, they have these culture parks. It was a very funny expression. Do you know where it comes from? Anyone who drafted the budget? I'd love a response at some point. Go ahead.
Comes right out of the chart accounts that we follow at the township.
So I think the answer, Renan, is that it's part of the nomenclature for the chart of accounts for all townships. So I'm not sure it's specific to this township.
I've not seen that before. It caught my eye as someone who has survived 3 socialist revolutions. And, I definitely don't think it's an expression used commonly in America. My other comment is that, not that anyone will care, is that, I am just appalled that we are raising taxes the 3rd time. Now, there have been many comments saying how it's not a big deal, how it is, we have not done it, how it's, how they, you guys have, worst of all, how the tax raises are due to the mismanagement of Paul, who has been in the minority the whole time. It's incredible to me that those comments are being made. And I think that as conservative Republicans, which is what Matt and Tim have claimed to be, it is simply outrageous that we've raised taxes 3 times during your administration, and you have made no effort other than the effort by Paul, and thank you all for your service for the last 6 years, other than the effort by Paul to stop the tax raises. I am sure that without Paul, we would be on our 5th tax raise during your administration, and that is simply not conservative.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I respond?
Sure.
So the flyer that I put out indicated that the first meeting was the first set of lies, second meeting, a second set of lies, and this meeting, the third set of lies. There was a CPA in the audience on November 6th, and she was the loudest voice crying that it was a fire tax. The following week, I went to the fire department meeting and told them it's the strangest fire tax I've ever seen. You're getting $3,000 less in 26 than you are in 25. So yeah, I can understand that the fire department made a request. They made a request that they be honored for their service and the money they needed, not blamed for it. Thank you. And, oh, one other thing. I put the flyer out at my expense and my time. This was done on taxpayer dollar.
Next. Yes.
Tara Wenzel, Deacon Road. I don't have a question, since I probably wouldn't get an answer anyway, but I was forced to watch the last public meeting on YouTube because I was scheduled to work when it was changed for no apparent reason, other than to try to pass something that you knew would be controversial to the residents. Well, I was thrilled to see the standing room only turnout, since I know you all assumed that having it at noon would deter people who had to work. Yet again, I was shown just what a freak show that these town meetings are. But I guess we should be used to that by now. Matt, that was quite the tirade that you had at the last meeting. You do need to go back and look up the definitions between lying and liar. Just to educate you, lying is defined as the fact or practice of telling falsehoods. Liar is the person that performs that action, a chronic teller of untruths. And given those definitions, I would say all three of you are culpable of being categorized as liars, because all three of you have been called out multiple times for not being honest. I also heard it thrown back to Paul that after this meeting, here today, things would go back to being peaceful. Well, that statement just solidly cements the idea that you, Matt and Tim, now believe that the addition with the newest elected supervisor, you'll be able to do whatever you want without question, because you no longer have Paul nipping at your heels, and that you believe this new supervisor is in your pocket. Many of us saw the heavy influence of Matt's reelection by the Hanson family and saw much of that same influence used with this newest election. Well, if you think for 1 minute that this will be the case, let me put you on notice. I'm seeing more and more new faces mustering up their courage and standing up here to call you out, which, since I've been attending these meetings for the last 6 years now, is a wonderful change. You've shown time and time again that you don't always have the best interests of this community, this township, and we residents at heart, as you should, and cannot be trusted to make the right decisions for this community without oversight. You certainly do not do your due diligence to be prepared for these meetings, and more often than not, put our solicitor on the spot with questions that could have easily been researched fully before bringing them to a public meeting. And with Paul leaving, it will now be even more incumbent on our community's residents to hold you to task for things that you try to do that are not in the best interest of we residents. I only hope all of you will join me to keep their feet to the fire for what is in the best interest as our community.
I wasn't gonna get up and talk, but the rants that went online today, the one specifically, and also at the last meeting, brought up $40,000 for right to know being done frivolously, is such a joke. There would never be a right to know if you would answer our questions. You refuse. You refuse to answer people's questions, especially people you do not like. It's so obvious in your stature, in your eyes, with your twitchy leg. You can just see the attitude that you have towards people. A lot of people don't care for Renan. A lot of people don't care for Hudak. I never did either. It was irritating to hear them rant, till a bell went off, and I started listening to what both of them were actually saying. Yeah, they get up and they're boisterous. Mark even refused to get down one time. He has to, because you paint him as such an evil person, and Renan's got more intelligence than the whole row of you. You just don't like the fact that he calls you out and he's got legitimate questions and you refuse to answer. You know, this could all go away, Tim, if you would stop treating people the way you treated. We were your friends at one time. You turned up the danger with your behavior. And that is a liar. He lied to my face when it came to Larry Warville. He swore he would get up at the next meeting and explain why you guys let Larry go. Then he refused to do it. All to get us complacent and on your side. We smartened up.
Yes, Nick.
Meg Powell, Porter's Road. Thank you. I wanted to thank Tim and Matt for putting out the response. When I heard about this and looked at some numbers, I was glad. I immediately went to the PSATs to find out what was the recommended minimum sort of running balance and what you should have in your treasury. And so I was very happy to see the paragraph in between numbers 4 and 5, which talks about what the PSAT recommends in terms of a reserve, and also talking about what you need to do to be fiscally responsible for holding, for emergencies and this sort of thing. Running the budget down to a bare wire is not sound fiscal practice. You need to have reserves. This is not your whatever personal checking account where you can draw on this or draw on that. You have to be fiscally responsible for this township. So I was very glad to see that. I'm very glad to see a guaranteed amount of money going to the fire company, because they are so important for our community, and I would hate to see something happen to them. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for putting that together and for being fiscally responsible. Nobody wants to see the taxes go up, but it's really something we have to do.
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
Yes.
Thank you. So, I agree on the comments about capital reserve. If you notice, the budget that they passed doesn't have any. So, there you go again for your fiscal responsibility. The $830,000 that we do have is not the 3-month, 4-month period of our expenses. It's half that. So it's more of a reserve than recommended by PSATs. Now, that's a good thing, but if you have it, and the fire department is only getting $59,000 more, why are you increasing the taxes to give them $59,000 more when you can take it out of the 830 and still have 700 and some and be within the PSAT's recommendations? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I haven't been up here in quite some time. I don't know, is this thing working? A little closer? How's that? I'm sort of shocked actually that there aren't a whole lot more people here. I came sort of early expecting a real crowd, but we rarely get that. I thought this whole thing about the taxes would have gotten a lot more people out. I want to talk just briefly on what Pat said on answering questions. Personally, I do believe that's been an issue and a problem with the current Board of Supervisors. I understand not having an answer at the spur of the moment for a question you did not expect. What I don't understand is when someone has a legitimate question, they've got an opportunity to ask that question one time a month. I think they're owed an answer. So if you don't know the answer, I think it's your responsibility to find one and then follow up. Don't let it hang out there. People come here to get answers on occasion. If you don't have it, I understand, but follow up. People just want you to get back to them. As far as differences of opinion up there at the table, they have been painfully obvious to anyone who's attended any meeting. I'm not picking sides on that difference of opinion, but what I will say is when the word lying keeps coming out, particularly from one person's mouth, I got a real problem with that. That gentleman, as far as I'm concerned, had a lot of good taking this job and a lot of good ideas, but his delivery method on trying to get them done has been nothing short of pitiful. Lying doesn't apply at all to what's going on with this tax situation. I don't know if Paul understands the difference between misinformation and disinformation. But misinformation is what happened. It was an unintentional mistake made. There was no intention, and you can laugh all you want, because that's your style. Okay? So just go ahead, Paul, have at it. You're in the 13th hour. We're all pretty happy about that. This is my time, thanks. I think in order to avoid some of this misinformation, I think it comes from improper planning or preparation before you actually have these meetings. I think the Monday meeting you used to have when you have work sessions was a good idea. I think it gave you a chance to get together, discuss what you're going to do, come up with a plan, and then execute that plan in a professional manner when you get here on Wednesdays.
Yeah, anybody that watches the videos or attends the meeting and can think that this is a mistaken information or something was put out incorrectly, I don't know, you watching too much TV, you're on the computer too much, I don't know, but you ain't understanding human interaction, because that ain't what happened.
Yes.
Peg Moulton, Laurel was changing the subject again, as I usually do, and I'm here as your Heidelberg Township representative for the York County Rail Trail Authority, Heidelberg Trolley Trail Operating Committee. As all of you probably know by now, the section from Gitztown Road to Jacobs Mill Road is open to the public, and many people, many residents, not just from our township, but also from neighboring municipalities, Spring Grove, Jackson, Penn Township, Heidelberg Borough, and even Adams County, have been utilizing that section of the trail and raving about just the beauty of it, the serenity of being out there. So I'm here to, as the representative of the Rail Trail Authority, to thank all of you, supervisors, the planning commission, the zoning hearing board, for what you've done to make this come to fruition. And I especially want to thank Chairman Hanson for attending the annual Rail Trail Authority meeting and accepting an award. We give them once a year to individuals, to municipalities, and to corporations. And Heidelberg Township won the award for this year as the municipality most responsible for making this trail a success. And as probably you know, I've said it over and over, the bulk of the Heidelberg Trolley Trail is in Heidelberg Township. We're not finished yet. We have to go from Jacobs Mill Road to Iron Ridge. The bulk of our efforts in 2026 are going to be the construction of the parking lot off of 116 and also the boardwalk bridge over to the rail trail, the trolley trail. So it's all exciting. Everybody is very, very optimistic about what this is doing for our community. And I just want to thank everybody and end the year on that note. So thank you. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for being here.
It's an honor to receive that. Yes. Beck? Yep.
My name is Lori Van Tassel, and I'm on Cannery Court, 26 Cannery Court. Can you hear me? Is it on? Yeah. Hello? I would like to thank you, Paul, for taking all of the slings and arrows for this small cadre of people who have been fighting for the working people of the township, and the people who don't live on large parcels of property, who don't think this is just an acceptable tax. You have fought tirelessly, you and Joyce, your wife, who I know you have not, we all have our lives. And I'm sure, there's many days you would rather focus on something else other than the township, but you have. And you have been a gift to all of us. You talk to everyone. You make sure that everyone knows what's going on. You don't hide like these guys. And you're as good-natured as anyone could be, taking what you have taken for all of us. And there are many people here, and there are many people who aren't here because they're afraid to be here. How does that sound? Your residents are afraid to come into this township and face you over this budget, which makes no sense to anyone. Do you know that? So thank you, Paul. And please extend our thanks to Joyce, who we love very much. I find what has happened, what people have labeled you as, even though you have tried to, reach across the aisle many times, and I don't understand it. You are the only patriot sitting up there.
Thank you. I enjoyed every minute of the 6 years, every minute of it. And I enjoyed getting to know all of you better. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Any more comments? Yes.
I'm Scott Ravenstein, live in Tobin Drive. I'm not up here to bash anybody, so you don't worry about that. So, I've been a member here at the fire company for 49 years now. And just kind of give an update. Both our engines are 25 years old. To get a new engine built right now, you're looking at 4 years till you get it. From the time you order it till you get it, 4 years, you're talking $800,000. To buy a used engine, the price of them have skyrocketed because the new engine takes 4 years to get. So, we're looking to get together to order one, but we definitely need help. You know, we're a small community, we do the fundraisers we can. It's very taxing on everybody, but the plan is to get on together, get a new engine ordered, knowing we're not gonna see it for 4 years. So, it's just something to keep in mind. I wasn't sure if people were aware, but I just want people to know that it's not something you just do real quick. We hear about grants. Grants are almost impossible for a new engine. We tried before. They don't even look at them for a small community like this. So, I just want to thank everybody. I hope you enjoyed seeing Santa come around the other Saturday. We had a very good turnout. I think there's as many dogs out as it was people. So that was nice to see. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Anyone else? Okay. Moving on, I'd like to make a motion to approve November Board of Supervisor meeting minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
No.
Motion to approve November special Board of Supervisor meeting minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Communications, I'd like to acknowledge receipt of a letter from GHI for a 2026 rate schedule. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of a letter from Comcast regarding price adjustments. I'd like to make the motion to advertise 2026 meeting dates. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yep.
So it says 26 meeting dates. The December 30th date in the legal notice is 2025, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So just making sure that everybody understands that the December 30th date is this month, not 2026. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fourth paragraph down.
If we were to have a work session this month.
Okay. I'd like to make the motion to approve the 2026 holidays. Do we hear a second?
We never voted on the meeting date.
Oh, sorry. I made that motion. Here's a second. All right, so we're voting. Aye.
Aye.
And motion to approve 2026 holidays. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public safety,
We have no final.
we don't have, Chris is working. or a fire report, and, or well span, so we have the reports, but we can get, copies at the township if someone's interested. And we do have someone from the northern region.
You have to sit here or go up there?
You go right up there.
Great. Good evening. I am Corporal Scally from Northern New York County Regional Police Department. I am here on behalf of Chief Lash, who is out of town. Just a brief synopsis of police activity in Heidelberg Township for the month of November. There were 91 calls for service, 10 of which were motor vehicle accidents, and there were 22 traffic stops.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the zoning activity report and acknowledge receipt of the code enforcement officer report. Moving on to finance. Motion to approve November treasurer's report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion to approve November bills paid report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Right to know requests. Received one and completed 6 in November, 35 year to date. Acknowledge the disbursement of the Porter's Fire Company in the amount of $2,657.95 for the June-November 2025 annual appropriation. I'd like to make a motion to appoint SEK CPAs as the 2026 auditors to complete the 2025 financial records of the township and file with the appropriate agencies. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
I'd like to make a motion
You
to,
missed one, Ken.
The VNA.
You missed the one below it. About the BNA for Hanover and Spring Road. And the amount of $37.50.
is it on yours?
You have a copy of it. Okay. I have it here.
What's the change?
Just let it.
I'll use this one. There it is. It wasn't on this copy. I will switch copies. Thank you for pointing that out. I'd like to make the motion to authorize the early donation to the VNA of Hanover and Spring Grove in the amount of $3,750. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to appoint SEK CPA and as the 2026 auditors, complete the 2025 financial records of the township and file with the appropriate agencies. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
I'd like to make the motion to reappoint Miller, Brown, and Ulm to process payroll, balance bank statements, and provide assistance with township financial record keeping and reporting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026 budget for the general fund, water company, liquid fuels, and Pidlin. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, as you may have noticed in my agenda item, number 2, I have a proposed amendment to the budget, which is permissible under the code, allowing for a percentage of line change. So I'd like to go ahead and make those motions now before approval of the budget.
That's fine.
So these 2 line items, line item 30120 and 31021, are revenue items. They are approximately $30,000 low, each one. I can only amend it to 20,000 and stay within the percentages. It is my belief, since the office requested to have these numbers increased, which they admitted in the November 6th meeting, and were denied that request, that these numbers were intentionally low to justify lack of income, therefore the tax increase. So I make the motion to correct the misinformation, disinformation, or lies that was contained in the proposal. So I make a motion that line 30120 be increased $20,000.
Is there a second? Motion dies in lack of second.
Line 31021, increase $20,000.
Do we hear a second? Motion dies in lack of second.
Further discussion on the budget. So, we're approving the water company budget. They don't have anything in here about the wages for the water company employed people. That comes to $8,628 a year. It's not in the budget. So, and then they've got the water grant.
$10,000 budgeted for that.
The manager says we have $10,000 budgeted for that.
That's the water testing.
Nope. That's professional services. That would be professional services.
You're not get $35 for professional services to do water testing? That's also the engineers.
That's also the engineer, it's all professional services.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the 448.00 is wages.
Well, the next line down says wages and you don't have anything there.
It was never used.
Yeah. I don't think it adds up to what the quality water charges and the $8,000 that the employees will charge. Plus, we know that under professional services, they're gonna spend about half of that for the grant, for the CDBG grant. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. And that's all, Mr. Chairman.
So we did make the motion for the approval of the budget. And, again, let me just repeat it. Motion to approve 2026 budget for the general fund, water company, liquid fuels, and PIPLO. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-11 establishing hourly rates and compensation for township employees and appointed members of the planning commission, zoning hearing board, and board of supervisors. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I didn't hear you, Paul.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve entering into PIP loan agreement resolution 2025-12. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion to approve 2026 tax resolution 2025-13. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2025-03 setting supervisor compensation for supervisors entering office after the effective date of the ordinance. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the road maintenance report. Sorry, something's out of order here.
You're a member of our engineer for that.
Acknowledge receipt of November's engineering report. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the November engineer's report, sorry. And now moving on to the rec board. We're gonna have a presentation by the representative from HTRA 50C3 to give an update on the cornhole tournament benefiting the Larry Stoner Memorial Park. So you guys wanna come up and present?
Do we have copies of the report?
I'm sorry, what is your question?
Do we have copies of your report?
This isn't. What I have tonight is a summary of the cornhole tournament results, and our official 2025 results will be available after 2025 is over. So, yeah.
Thank you.
This is Meg Powell, 1200 Porters Road, and I'm thrilled to be here today in my capacity as treasurer of the Heidelberg Township Recreation Association charity to report the results of this year's cornhole tournament fundraiser. On Saturday, November 15th, the HTRA charity hosted the event for tournament players and spectators. We had 80 people in attendance, including 38 players, and it was really a fun evening of food, friendship, and festivities. The Porter's Fire Company opened their kitchen, so we had the classic favorite fire hall food and all sorts of beverages available, as well as scrumptious baked goods and a silent auction, raffle baskets, a 50-50 raffle, small games of chance, and of course the cornhole tournament itself. During this 6-hour event, we were even able to run a second cornhole tournament, and the winners of both competitions won small cash prizes and lots of other goodies. Overall, it was a genuinely entertaining evening, and we look forward to hosting the next one. Before I give you the figures of income, I want to acknowledge our fabulous board of directors, our incredible volunteers, and the many local businesses who donated items to our silent auction and raffle baskets, and the very generous and community-minded individuals and businesses who made cash donations to the charity. Okay, so here are the results. Ticket sales, both pre-sale and at the door, totaled $2,930. Our bake sale, basket raffle, and silent auction brought in another $2,325. Those winners brought home dozens of beautiful and varied baskets, and the attendees kept coming back up to load up on the amazing cookies, cupcakes, and sweets. The small games of chance gross revenue was $4,409. Out of that, we paid $191 to our small games of chance distributor, and our winners took home $2,779, leaving net profit from small games of chance of $1,439. And finally, the whopping total of cash donations from our fantastic community of individuals, businesses, and employer match programs was $12,850. So HTRA generated net income of $19,544 from Cornhole 2025. After our expenses for renting the fire hall, tournament prizes, and general event costs, our net for the event was just over $18,500. Being that this is our first event, we're thrilled with this result and energized to continue on our mission. We plan to present a proposal for swings and a climbing structure and using grants to multiply the impact of those earnings. We'll be making a full year report of HTRA's 2025 activity to the supervisors in 2026, and we look forward to a bright future making the most of Heidelberg Parks for the people of our community with the supervisors in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Why don't you stand? All you
Even if you're not wearing
volunteers.
your pink shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna do it again.
I look forward to it. Okay, I'd like to acknowledge receipt of letter from the York County Planning Commission regarding the time of performance extension from December 31st, 2025 to June 30, 2026. And I'd like to make the motion to approve resolution 2025-14 amending water system rates. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So we have 3 traffic ordinances for the township's consideration. The motion for each would be a motion to approve the advertisement. So the first one deals with speed limits to various township roads, amending ordinance 88-2. Is there a motion to approve the advertisement of this ordinance?
I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second has to do with a vehicle size limitation on Cannery Road. So this requires some discussion. So the LTAP study indicated that it would be appropriate to restrict the road to vehicles that are in excess of 25 feet. One question that comes up with a road restriction is whether or not there are any exceptions. Typically, exceptions would include things like school buses, emergency vehicles, and vehicles making local deliveries to the houses that are on that road or businesses. And that's pretty obvious because people need to have things delivered. The ordinance has that exception in it. What it doesn't have is a consideration of an exception that would apply to residents who live on Cannery Road. That is, if they have a vehicle that's in excess of 25 feet, are we gonna restrict them to driving their car to and from their house? I think the obvious answer is no, but it's not my answer to make, is the board's answer. So the question I have for the board is, do you want to provide for that exception?
Let's take a vote on that. I say we want to provide for that exception, so.
I agree.
Aye. Question?
Yeah.
Does this include pull-behind trailers and the length?
That's a good question, Paul. I would imagine reading the
Because-
LTAP, it has to do with the turning radius. So,
Right.
you know, so a vehicle over 25 feet in length, maybe we should make that clearer, which is a vehicle which in combination with a trailer is in excess of 25.
If it's a resident with a trailer longer than 25 feet, then I'm in favor of that exemption. If it's a resident.
What about RVs?
Well, that would also, I believe, be under the exemption, if it's a
Right.
resident.
The basic reason for a road restriction, either weight or length, is to prevent through traffic, essentially, not to restrict the residents or having deliveries made. So is it the board's consensus that we should include like a pull-on trailer if the total length is in excess of 25?
I think that should be part of the exception. Agree? I mean, the residents, they have to get their stuff in and out, so.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about through traffic, do you also mean detoured traffic? Because that's where we run into the most problems. is turning, you know, like they detour traffic, you know, from 116, and they try to, you know, then we have all these big, like, tractor trailers that, like, get stuck and fall over and stuff.
Right. I'll defer to a police officer, but I would imagine if the township imposes this type of restriction, that they would, in detouring, take that into account.
Correct, you'd be correct.
Thank you.
Okay. So the consensus is to have that exception for residents who live on that road, including the trailers. So I'll have to amend the ordinance to provide for that. The other sections of the ordinance, as you see, are placeholders, so I'll have to figure out what legislation we do have. Haven't done that yet, but I will fix that and advertise it for the next meeting.
Can I ask a question? Why is it just Cannery Road? Because we have other roads that are narrow like that as well. I know Deegan Road is very, very narrow, especially up at the Hoff Road end. You know, that road is extremely narrow there. And why are we making that ordinance only for one road, one small road in the township, when we have lots of small roads in the township?
We didn't have any, request for that road. I think there's at least 2 roads. Doesn't Angus Mill Road the same?
No, we passed one for Iron Ridge.
And we passed one for Iron Ridge, so. Wait a minute, yeah. So there was no request, and that's the reason. Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
you had someone with a hand up.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I just wanted to add that the real issue that we have in Cannery is that when there's detours, big trucks try to turn on Cannery to get back to your road, and they get literally stuck. And they have to be, literally, you have to bring a crane in to get them out, they get literally stuck. So I think the issue is not the width of the road, but the width of that turn at Smith Station and Cannery, that's been a huge problem for years.
Thank you.
So I think we're at the point where we need a motion to approve advertisement of ordinance number 26, or 2026-02, Cannery Road vehicle size limitation as amended.
I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The final one is the long-awaited stop sign on High Rock Road West and High Rock Road North. This imposes a stop sign to be installed at that intersection. So the motion is to advertise ordinance number 2026-0.
I'd like to make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, you're up, Paul.
Thank you. So I'd like to make a resolution to pay the fire department an additional $59,000 this year, before the end of the year. That is the amount of increase they will get next year. And we have $830,000. If we give them the 59 additional this year, we'll have 771. Still within the PSAT's framework and still being added to in next year's budget. So if they really wanted to take care of the fire department, they should vote to give them this money as well. So I make a motion to give the fire department an additional $59,000 before the end of the year.
Discussion? Staff, what's the recommendation here?
Well, come March, we do not have $800,000 that Paul keeps talking about, because he's not taking into consideration our 2 payments.
Not taking into consideration what?
He's not taking into consideration that we have 2 payments due to the police department. We have $91,000 that's in that account goes to Mill Road as the grant money. And our large equipment grant of $131,000 we have to pay up front. So our balance by the end of March is approximately $473,000.
So you're not getting any revenue in January, February, and March?
We don't typically see tax revenue till April. We usually make everything work through April. That's when taxes are due.
I understand when they're due, but they're collected at different times.
The lump sum of it is due, comes in at the end of April.
Right.
And on top of that, that's not our expenses through the year, through the winter for snow and ice removal.
So 400 and how much?
I would be happy to table this till March or April of next year. I have no problems giving them the extra money. I just don't wanna give it now in case we run into something this winter that draws us lower.
Aren't you taking out a kid then?
Yes, potentially. That's for High Rock Road.
Yeah, so there's a motion to table.
So, again, if it draws you down to 400 and some thousand in March, and the lion's share of the tax comes in April, you'll be back up the next month. I'm not, there will be revenue for the township in January, February, and March. I didn't bring those figures with me, but I know it's minimal. I'll agree to that. But, and I do know that the police department has to be paid. So if you can't see your way to do it, then you can table it. But I think the money is there.
I would disagree with that right now. To revisit that, that's why we're raising the tax, so that we can comfortably give them that money and make sure that they're solid. We don't know what this winter's bringing us. We don't know if our trucks are gonna survive through the winter. We have no catastrophic fund at this point.
Scott, did you have a comment?
Yeah. Right now, any money the township gives us additional money is going into an invest account for the new engine. Like I said, we're looking at 4 years down the road. So from my standpoint, and I'm speaking for the Farcom here, because nobody else is here, we're okay with it being tabled to make sure the township has enough money. Our goal is not to bankrupt the township. It's to get help and to purchase that we can protect the township.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Scott. I have no issues with giving that amount of money once I'm comfortable knowing that we have that available, and be more than happy to, give a upfront contribution to a new engine or truck. So, or whatever you guys are looking at, tanker engine. Yeah, okay. So I would say we can just revisit this.
Table.
Just table.
All right, so we'll make the motion to table until,
I'll second the I made the motion to table.
okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No. The next item, that the Board of Supervisors of Heidelberg Township, in an effort to protect women, acknowledge that the vast majority of Heidelberg Township taxpayers don't want their tax dollars associated with an organization that allows or condones that a male by birth can enter a woman's locker room and/or restroom.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who's gonna police that? What? Who will police that?
Question is, who would police it?
What do you mean by police?
Well, I mean, that a wise woman told me once, a woman who used to work in that particular area, that a true transgender person
didn't mention transgender in the motion.
So, if you are in a public restroom, I probably sat in a public restroom with more men than I care to admit. I mean, if somebody's gonna walk in who has gone through the operation, takes the drug, they don't want you to know that they were born a male and they're now a woman.
Well, some I would think wouldn't, but others, I'm not sure that's a blanket statement for all of them. This, I mean, if anybody's watched anything on the news, women are coming out saying this is abhorrent to them.
I don't disagree with it, Paul. I don't want a man in my bathroom either.
So then the person who would report it would be the person in the bathroom who witnessed it, or a manager or something of that organization. And this is about our tax dollars. This isn't about police operation. This is about the tax dollars. We're saying we don't want our tax dollars to go to an organization that does that.
Okay, yeah, Meg?
Mine is a question of point of order. If these are, number one, these are resolutions that he's proposing, and there's no actual language to a resolution that he's providing. And secondly, as these resolutions, he's making a motion to make the resolution. It's not getting seconded, so it should die for lack of a second and not even go into the comment period.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll listen to some feedback, yes or not.
I just wanted to ask Paul, just to clarify in regards to the last questions, you hopefully don't mean that council supervisors or the police will go around in various bathrooms policing who is and who isn't in there, but rather what you mean, I would like you to clarify, is that the township should not be associating with organizations that have explicit policy that says that anyone who regards themselves as a woman can go into the women's
Right,
bathroom.
yeah.
Correct.
That's what we get, okay, yes, one more.
So, this is the first I'm hearing about it, Paul, and it's a resolution to not contribute taxpayer dollars to the organization, not about who's gonna police it.
Right.
So let's focus on what it is, please. And second of all, which organization you're talking about, the YMCA, can you just say who it is that's asking for our tax dollars?
Well, that's one, but I don't know that they're asking for our tax dollars, but that's one organization that does allow and condone it. So,
I mean, that-
but there's others.
I mean, what is this, what, the resolution is just vague, it's like, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about protecting women.
Okay, sir. Did you make a motion for that, Paul?
I did.
Yeah, and is there a second? Motion dies on lack of second.
Motion to bring to discussion a tabled motion to delay the tar and chip on Mengus and Cannery Road and replace for a tar and chip on Toman Road from Yingling to the 6,148 block of Toman Road, the eastbound lane only covering the center painted line. Were you able to take a look at that, Matt?
Yeah.
And?
Yeah, I talked with, the assistant roadmaster on that, and he said that I believe there would be another option to alleviate that. So I believe he was recommending at the time not to go ahead with that.
What?
The assistant roadmaster had, when I discussed that with him, he had, some other ideas to take care of that. So I think we should just,
You have
continue to.
share any of them?
No, he was gonna take a look at it, but he said he didn't think we needed to use a little chip, so. I wish he was here right now, cause that.
But he's working.
He's working.
He's out cleaning our roads. So So it's not clear. There was a motion. Is there a second for this? Motion dies for lack of second.
So it still remains on the table. All right, motion to bring to discussion, tabled motion. Motion to have the following made into an ordinance or to have them as an amendment to the township zoning ordinance. Occupying a recreational vehicle or camper or tent for more than 15 days in any 6-month period is prohibited. A special permit can be issued to extend the time if for the purposes of providing health, domestic care to the owner of the property. A special permit can be issued to extend the time if for the purposes of renovating a house on the same property. The exemption is for the homeowner only. In an agricultural zoning area district can be granted for farm workers. And 4, connecting a recreational vehicle to the township sewer or water system or to a well or septic system of any property owner of the township is prohibited. Recreational vehicles and campers legally hooked up to existing sewer or septic systems prior to the passage of these provisions is exempt. Mr. Schultes, did you have an opportunity to just look into whether it would be a separate ordinance or as an amendment to the zoning ordinance?
No, Paul, I haven't.
So, my comment on this is, we need to take a look at this. Probably we'll review it with the engineer, because we're gonna be updating our zoning ordinance, some standalone ordinances and the primary ordinance. And I think in the near future, we may need, an ordinance that supports sections of this, if not the whole thing. But I would like to review it with, probably U.C.S. Davison, and that's who wrote our zoning ordinance, to make sure that it's legal and we cover it properly. So I'm gonna say we keep it tabled until January, at which time we are gonna look at, a zoning ordinance update.
Is that gonna be one of the work sessions?
It could be a work session, yes. So,
Okay, so it remains tabled. Thank you.
yes,
That's it.
okay. Upcoming meetings, Rec Board, December 16, 2025, 6 p.m. Township Building was canceled. Water Committee, December 17, 2025, 5:30 p.m. Township Building was canceled. Zoning Hearing Board, December 17, 2025, 7 p.m. Township Building, canceled. Board of Supervisors reorg meeting, January 5th, 2026, 6 p.m. at the Porter's Fire Hall. And the Planning Commission will meet January 14, 2026, 6 p.m. Township Building.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
also on January 5th is the regular monthly meeting.
that is correct, that is correct.
And are we gonna have a work session on the 30th?
Has not been determined yet.
Say that's a no for me, because I won't be around. Unless you guys wanna have.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your service. I know it's been rocky. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the Board of Supervisors meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.